So this person asked, leadership at my company is a complete black box. And during this uncertain economic time, we have absolutely no idea what's happening. Nobody knows if we're going to be losing jobs, cutting staff, etc. It's stressing everyone else out. How can we talk to management about staying in better communication with all of us?
There's a lot in this question. And a big part of that is fear of I want to hear from my boss or my leadership that my job is secure or it is at risk. Um, your boss and leadership may not have that answer. There's a lot of uncertainty happening in the world and in businesses. And although it feels like it would help you feel better to know what the future holds for you, unfortunately, that answer may not be available. So the next step there is, yes, if it is available, being able to talk to your leadership is really about going into that conversation without self-protection. You're going into that conversation without holding that self-protection around you like a cloak, and instead walking in really seeking what information is available in a non-blaming, non-self-protective way. I know that may sound like something that's really, really hard to do, but if you're about to have a conversation with someone and you're doing it to protect yourself, don't have that conversation. Wait until you can get to a place where you're feeling a little bit more stable in your own heart. Psychological safety is something that we talk about in terms of high functioning teams. Psychological safety means that you feel like you can say the truth about whatever is going on with you without worrying about someone taking recourse. So it's actually really uncommon, and people beat themselves up about not having psychological safety on their teams, which is like, I can't tell my boss the truth or else I'm afraid to lose my job. But if you think about in your daily life of all the relationships you've ever had, how many of them were so open and so honest that you could tell that person the truth of everything in your life and it would have been okay. So psychological safety is a goal, but it is definitely not common. It's rare, it's beautiful, but we don't all have it. So when you know that you don't have that psychological safety with your boss and your leadership, being able to do your best to stop protecting yourself before conversations is a great start.
That's interesting. It's kind of like a self check-in before you go ask for that information. Try
It
and get a pulse
absolutely
of where
is.
you're coming from.
It's one of those things where you think that if you don't think about what's happening in your heart, whatever's naturally there is what you walk into the meeting with.
Yeah.
But it's
I also
actually,
imagine it's kind of easy to trick yourself too if you don't really stop and ask. You're like,
yeah,
oh,
if
I
you,
need to get this
oh
information.
yeah, I just need this information for
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's
Exactly.
super easy to trick yourself, but really having that heart to heart with yourself. I mean, this is just a conversation with yourself. So if you're lying to yourself, that's kind of your deal, but, but it, I mean, and people do, but if you want to just sit there and be honest with yourself, like what is in my heart as I'm about to have this conversation, and you're like, oh, it's a fight is in my heart, or I really want someone to reassure me. Well, when you go in, they're going to sense that. They may not be able to put words around it, but they're definitely going to sense what it is that you're coming in with. I personally had a job that didn't, was a total mess of an interpersonal interaction. This is long before I learned how to do all of this. And that person said, hey, you just came into my office with guns blazing. And I didn't really know what he meant because I hadn't done that check-in. And I was like, I'm just trying to get stuff done. Like, I thought we were in this together. We're getting stuff done. And he's like, you're coming in with guns blazing. So what you walk in somebody's door or what you walk into a conversation with, they know what you're walking in with.
Probably more so than you even imagine. Like you had no idea you were walking in there with guns blazing, and yet it was obvious.
Yeah, because I was lying to myself, and he knew that.